We're going to be using leftover cladding from our house construction. It's going to go on the side of the chicken coop. Of course, because it's offcuts, there's cuts that have been made making different size panels. So what I'm doing is taking off any little pieces here, leaving the groove at full width, and also taking off the joining tab on the other side because we don't have any other tabs from the other side of the board on any of them. So it's just getting them nice and straight and trimmed off so that they can be put on and all look nice. These also have a thermal rating, so they're going to provide some heat protection and also keep them nice and warm during the winter as well. So that's just giving me a straight edge to run along, making sure that we stay on the, in this case, the left-hand side of the groove, and leave the maximum amount of the channel of the groove left. With this one, I'm actually trying to miss the board. I just want to take that pink joining tab off. We've got all the cladding on now, totally enclosed. We've got the tyres or wheels back on. The one that I had the battle with on the other side, once we got into position, slipped straight on, so all that sandpaper work and that worked really well, so they've gone on perfectly. So the last step now is to get the roof on. And then we're just going to make a drop down door at the back to access the crates where the chickens will be laying their eggs. This pile of corrugated iron I got from a free to take site, and we've had it in storage for a little while. It was from a fencing job that was done in another property and they didn't want it anymore, so once again reuse, recycle, repurpose. It's going to be perfect for us We're going to have a little bit of an overhang at the back and sides, which will give a little bit of rain protection as well.
Is this what they say, using your head? Huh?
Yep.
I don't think this is what they meant. So here we have the mobile chicken coop, and it is based off a Justin Rhodes ChickShaw concept, but we've altered it to suit our needs. It's been made out of almost 100% recycled materials. The only thing we had to purchase was the wire and a few screws, but other than that, everything else we got for free. So as you know, we started with a base for this, built up the walls, then the surrounds, and yeah, it's all come together. Gave it a few coats of paint, and I'll take you around and show you some of the features that we changed in this. One of the changes that we did make to this was, most of the time the door is in the center, but we fixed our roof due to the fact that for roughly 2 months of the year we get some pretty good winds here, and we didn't want a roof that was had the ability to actually get ripped off. So what we have is a lock up here, barrel bolt, and we just slide that open, and the ramp comes down. It's got some little steps there for the chickens to help them get up. I've put a bolt here which pulls out, and the whole front will open up. I'll eventually put a little clip there. You can keep this open during the day, or you can just leave it with just that open. One of the reasons we decided to open up the whole thing is we're able to get in and clean this if any of the wire gets too poopy. So it makes it easier for us to get in and clean it out. You can see here these pieces of wood across here. The chickens will perch on those, they'll poop, it'll go through the wire and onto the ground and fertilize the ground. And up the back we have a little nesting box. Here we've used the axle from an old trailer, and there's a few reasons for that. When it gets a little bit wet here, it gets a little bit mushy, so the bigger tires will help. It also helps it balance, and it also helps it turn a little bit easier, and I'll show you that shortly. I'll just show you around the back so you can see where we collect the eggs. On the back we've got a few little features, and I'll show you some of them. One, I made a handle out of this material to make it a bit easier. Just put a little bit of a latch there to be able to open the back of it. Put this little latch up and it comes down. We can keep this open during the day, but for safety at night we'll shut this. And this is where you collect your eggs. What we have here is some crates, and we've cut out the front, and this will be for the nesting box. I found when I was pulling these out that if there was nothing underneath it, they tended to slip forward, which meant that if you had any eggs there, they'd roll out. So I put this little bit here, and you can see there is another bit of wood there. The chickens can jump up onto that and then get into the boxes. and it makes it easy to clean. I can clean under there. Even though we've balanced this fairly well, we still wanted a little bit of insurance to make sure that the coop didn't tip backwards if there was too much weight. So what I did was I put a little latch here that you turn and a leg drops down. It doesn't have to be on the ground, but if this tips backwards, it will stop it from going all the way back. Then when you need to move it, you put it back up, and there it is. For safety reasons, what I did was I rounded the edges of the metal, because Stephen has been known to take off half of his head by hitting it on these pieces here, so that will ensure that he remains intact. So to move this, we have these two arms and this metal piece of pipe here, and I've put some little screws in there just to hold it in place. If I ever need to take it off for some reason, we can do so. In the future, we may put a little bit of a hitch here so we can tow it with our ride-on mower. But this is a really, really easy thing to move. We put it at this height, so I can bend down and just lift it, and it's no pressure on your back, and it's very, very simple to move. As you can see, it turns really simply.
Well, it's 6:30 in the morning and someone's decided that it's time to get up and get out and explore their new surroundings. So, oh really? So it's time to let them out into their new enclosure for the first time. Come on.